Welcome to the gallery that tells your story. This is the portion where we have our featured author. And we're going to talk a little bit about this great project that this great woman is doing for our community. Um, but before we get into it, I just want to take the opportunity to thank you all for your continuous support as we navigate through each season of these episodes. We look forward to having more partnerships with more featured authors as we continue on. Now we're going to take the time to introduce this phenomenal author, Miss Muslima Walker. All right, just want to make sure I got that right. This is my sister. I'm glad that you had the opportunity to come in and sit with me and just have a conversation about the awesome things that you're doing. She is a two-time self-published author. So, anything else you want to add so that the audience knows a little more about you before we get into this?
Thank you for having me. I've been writing for a long time since I was a child, and writing is my passion to put different things as far as we experience, especially in our community, and being able to put it into words that palatable,
Yeah.
to those who are open to receive.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. So, with that being said, we're going to get right into it. So, give us the title of your book and can you summarize it for the audience?
So the title of my second book is The Real Housewives of the Incarcerated.
Mm.
It's basically an anthology of a mix of poetry, short stories, and letters from the female perspective of trying to be supportive
Mm-hmm.
of of a loved one that's currently incarcerated.
Wow, that's phenomenal. Okay. Do you want to give us the title of your other book as well?
Yes, the title of my first book is Side Effects of Moon Magic, which is strictly a book of poetry that
Nice.
travels the gambit of different topics.
Awesome. We love spoken word. Shout out to the salute to the spoken word artists out there. We love you for sure. All right. So the next question that we're going to talk about. Choose a brief section of your book to read and tell the audience why that particular section resonates with you.
I've chosen this selection. The title of this selection is Gratitude Poor.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I chose this particular selection is because I feel that it demonstrates one of the things that the men in our community are not able to do, even
Mm-hmm.
when they try to do the things that we as women, we as families and community
Mm-hmm.
expect them to do. And that mainly means about being able to be supportive and to be protective,
Okay.
protectors of the family and the community.
Okay. Okay. All right. What you got for us?
All right. Gratitude for. I am grateful. I am grateful. I am grateful. You came through just when I needed you to. We were both mad young, and I thought you were cute. I had no idea that you were doing things you needed to. Your first gift to me, a pair of Jordache jeans. I acted like it was expected, but you don't know what it means. They were just my size, brand spanking new, with the softest sweater and tennis shoes too, a gold chain in a little box that said my boo. No more hand me downs. I was fresh and clean. A couple of dollars in my pocket I could use to feed my little brother and sister who would sometimes cry. Ma was always gone, so I never asked her why. Daily hugs when I would see you at school, but some days you were a no show. I would wonder what you were up to. You showed me you were a man when daddy came back through, wanting to play house while my mother was doing whatever she do. My first tear was the last when I told you why I was sad. You said a man who lusted for his daughter didn't deserve to be called dad. You taught me to shoot just in case you weren't around. Had your boys looking out for me once you knew the danger I was in. I was safe for a time until he tried his hand again. I was going to kill him first chance I got. When I went for my gun, I heard the shot. You had seen him at the bar, so you knew his next step. They gave you so much time, although you were protecting me. But isn't that what a man is supposed to do? Protect his family? I tell our son every day what a hero you are, how you sacrificed your freedom to protect us. Crazy thing is, they gave you more time for the drugs than the murder too. You went to prison for doing what a man is supposed to do.
Wow. Very, very powerful. Thank you for sharing
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah, and that is something that will certainly, we hope, will give people some kind of inspiration to read more about that particular book. All right. Okay. Can you why did you choose that particular poem?
I chose that particular poem because being a woman in the community and living in this life, this world that we live in, a lot of women that I come into contact with and that I have conversations with, we feel unprotected out here. And unfortunately, it's because the men that we love, our fathers, our sons,
Mm-hmm.
brothers, cousins, and things like that, they have found ways to try to support us, and support the family and be what we expect them to do.
Mm-hmm.
But they end up getting incarcerated, and then when we need them the most, when our little girls and little boys are growing up and you have to depend on other people to watch them, things like that, and then
Mm-hmm.
they're placed in situations that can be harmful. It
Yeah.
seems beneficial, but it can be harmful, and sometimes you don't realize the harm that was caused until later down the line.
Yeah.
So
And that's a
I
really
think
good
that that's
point.
important.
Really good point. So I want to ask you some questions about that, but I'm going to table that for later.
Mhm.
Who or what inspired you to write the books, and why was it important for you to write it?
Um, well, I've always loved writing. My aunt Catherine Mitchell, who had a very strong hand in helping to raise me as a younger person, she was always reading,
Mm-hmm.
and so I started reading a lot. So,
Yeah.
and I would read any and everything. Then, as I became older and expanded my friend base and came into contact with different people, I saw the hardship being alone, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And with people not being able to have, they don't have support systems and things like that. And especially when it comes to our community of people, when the people that you depend on are
Mm-hmm.
no longer able to provide and protect you because they've been sequestered away. And so
Gotcha.
it's definitely a conversation that goes on amongst us as women. It's something that I would hope that things would change, because the definition of what they say a man is supposed to do, or what the things that they're supposed to do, is in direct opposition to what society is saying that they expect you to do. So
Mm-hmm.
somehow they're expecting people to be protectors and they're expecting people to be providers,
Mm-hmm.
but not to do the things that may be required.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, unfortunately or fortunately, that requires breaking law.
Yeah.
It requires breaking law.
Let me ask you this. As a man, I believe that when we have fathers who never taught us how to be fathers, we pass down the things that we don't know. So, for example, if I have a father who never taught me to be a protector and a provider because he wasn't there, and then I have children, I'm probably, and not in all cases, but in some cases, going to emulate and repeat the pattern and exert the behaviors of a father that wasn't there in my new family dynamic. So naturally, I don't know how to protect when my wife is saying protect me. I don't know how to provide when my wife is saying provide for me. I heard what I was supposed to do, but then it creates this natural pressure in the home, this expectation for me to be somebody for you that I never learned how to be. My question to you is, if I had to frame it in the form of a question, how does that belief play a part in the things that you wrote and or from your personal professional experiences?
Well, from my personal experience, I believe that you don't always have to be shown how to do something
Mm.
to innately know what it is that you're supposed to do. I
Okay.
don't think that you have to necessarily be shown how to be a protector
Hmm.
or how to be a provider in order to protect and provide. We have a lot of people who have grown up
Hmm.
without a mother, without a father, without those examples that matter.
Hmm.
And you have a lot of people who, because they didn't have those examples, but they knew what they went through, they made it their business to be everything opposite in order to make sure
Sure.
that their children, their family, or anybody that they love didn't have to deal with what they knew are the consequences of not having that.
That's fair. So, do you believe that? And shout out and salute to the single mothers out there. I know it's a lot of y'all, unfortunately, and we have dropped the ball directly and indirectly in a lot of ways, and we are responsible, in my opinion, for the direction that our community goes into. So, shout out to y'all. Do you believe when you have a boy who doesn't have a father, that there are instances by which the mother raises a maternal man that goes into a relationship dynamic and depends on the wife or the girlfriend to provide and protect? Do you believe that that kind of dynamic exists? And if so, how does that play out uh, for you as an author when you consider your projects?
I definitely can say that unfortunately you have a lot of single mothers who raise maternal men. I myself am the mother of two boys,
Mm-hmm.
two young men now who I would take pride in saying that I haven't raised them to be maternal men, but it was hard
Mm-hmm.
because trying to make sure that they had a certain type of male figure or male role model
Mm-hmm.
in their life has led me to being in relationships that I should not have been, you
Mm-hmm.
know. However, it's not impossible.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things, and I'm not sure that it's been considered before, but sometimes women may raise young men to be
Mm-hmm.
maternal out of fear.
Okay.
So we still have a fear of if he's too tall, too strong, too assertive,
Mm-hmm.
too much of a man,
Mm-hmm.
you know what the world is going to throw at him when he goes out the door.
Wow.
So the things that you are proud of,
Mm-hmm.
about raising a young man, he's handsome, he's smart, he's intelligent, he's strong, he can
Mm-hmm.
do all these things. Everything that you would be proud of him as a mother is also the things that you're afraid of and scared of because the world when he goes outside in society is not going to appreciate that. They're going to
Wow.
demonize all of those things
Mm-hmm.
that you're supposed to be proud about with having a healthy intelligent child who's going to be a benefit and be able to add to the community.
Wow. That is major. That's major. Thank you for sharing that. I love that response. And that's the reality in some cases that we face as a community. And it's something that we got to get a better handle on. So, with that being said, I want to thank you for your time. Hope that you will come back again. Where can the audience reach you directly and how can they purchase the book?
Books are available on Amazon. I can be directly reached at bookjurious1 at gmail.com. Also on Facebook and Instagram, it's Muslima Walker. On Instagram, it's Muslima Walker underscore author.
Okay. All right. Well, again, thank you for your time. Uh, Definitely appreciate you, my sister.
Thank you so
Stay
much for
strong.
having me.
Absolutely. And thank you, good people, for checking in. I'm Coach White signing out. Peace.